Good day everyone, this is the latest weather update here in the tropics. Right now we are watching a tropical storm Roke in the western Pacific. It is the 14th of September 2011, 0830 Zulu, 4:30 p.m. Japan, Philippine time, 5:30 Japan time. Roke is now located 860 kilometers east-southeast of Okinawa, so well away, still far away from the islands, but will likely head in that direction this weekend, so just watch out over there. Maximum sustained winds right now 65 kph. Again, a tropical storm now, upgraded to a depression. Maximum gust up to 90 kph. Roke is moving northwestward at 15 kilometers per hour. And showing a wider view of that visible image, and you can see this expansive cloud formation and also the exposed but well-defined low-level circulation center you see right over here, and the main convective activity, those brighter cloud tops, higher cloud tops and brighter clouds here you can see in this image, well displaced well east of the system, and as it still encountering some shear. But you can also see some clouds trying to wrap around now on the northern and western side of the storm. Kind of want those cloud formation to be right over the center for this storm to continue intensifying, but right now not really doing that just yet. In terms of the infrared convective activity, again I showed you the main convection still east of the storm center. The center is right over here, and you can see some activity trying to build in, but again I'll show you later this dry air and also some shear still hindering the system's intensification. And showing you also here the latest microwave image taken just roughly an hour ago, and you can see this main activity still east of the system. This is the storm center. You can also see some blobs of activity trying to fire here, so we'll see as it goes into the night and the diurnal maximum. We'll see how it will help our system in terms of intensification. But in terms of tropical storm strength, we do see some tropical storm force winds here in the Ascat Pass earlier this morning, estimating the winds on the ocean surface, and you can also see here red, so around 30 to 35 knots just north of the system, north and northeast. But you can see this expansive wind radii of Roke of almost 20 knots well away from the center, and also north and south of the storm center. So yeah, we do have an expansive wind coverage of this storm. Not really that strong. I mean, the tropical storm force winds only extend up to maybe 200 kilometers away, but these gale force winds from around 20 to 25 knots. Again, very expansive in terms of coverage there. And again, in terms of the intensification process, we still have shear, although it has been weakening this past 12 hours. Now around 10 to 15 knots in this area. So we'll likely see this storm to begin consolidating much better tonight and into tomorrow. So we'll have to see those latest developments there, and we'll update you anyway, the Western Pacific and also in their blog. But again, you can also see in this water vapor image, here you go, the dark blue colors trying to wrap around. This signifies dry air, and you can see you have those moist air to the east of the system, and also associated with that convective activity. But again, the north and northwest still very dry. You have a tot cell or tropical upper tropospheric trough also inhibiting outflow and development as a whole due to subsidence, again west of the system, and also ocean heat content in this area is still not particularly high. And you can see here, as it moves into Okinawa by tomorrow and perhaps into the weekend, it will probably start encountering some warmer temperatures and also some higher ocean heat content. So we'll have to see how that affects our system. And also showing you the wind shear across the forecast track, around 10 to 20 knots. So we'll probably see some intensification, but not a explosive rate or fast rate that we normally see here in the Western Pacific with developing storms and typhoons. And in terms of strength, we do expect this to remain in the tropical storm threshold throughout its lifetime here in the Western Pacific. Showing you the layer mean wind analysis, just giving a general idea on the steering currents here in the atmosphere, and you can see that we have the subtropical ridge, a strong subtropical ridge actually extending westward, into China, and that is steering our system to the northwest and eventually to the west towards Amami and Okinawa by this weekend. However, that is forecast to this ridge is forecast to weaken as the trough comes in from China, breaks it down, leaves an opening here in this area, kind of takes Roke on a somewhat erratic track by the early part of next week. And you can also see here computer models are showing you the scenario that I just said, that movement towards Okinawa. Good agreement among computer models there. But in terms of the 3 to 5 day time frame, they do diverge widely, with some models taking it towards Kyushu, and some models take it southward towards East China Sea, and kind of meanders in this area for almost 3 days actually. And you're not seeing ECMWF here, so I'll show you the Euro model here. Same thing for the first 4 or 5 days from the Euro, taking this just north of Okinawa, and then makes a southwestward turn, and this is by Wednesday now, next week, September 21st, and you can see this as a tropical storm between Taiwan and Okinawa here in the East China Sea. And I'm gonna run the forecast here now. By Thursday, September 22nd, again shows you an erratic somewhat movement, and see now moving northeastward, and drifts to the north now as the ridge begins to build back in here south of Japan, and you can see it strengthens a little bit as it moves west of Okinawa, and by Friday next week, September 23rd, the Euro model actually takes this towards Kyushu as a potential typhoon. So we'll have to watch that. Again, in terms of the solution, we do have low confidence, because to be honest, this is still more than a week away. So we do expect forecast tracks to change, and also the intensities and all that aspects of the storm. So just keep watching here for the latest updates there. And but in terms of short-term forecast, computer models and also forecasting agencies such as JMA are in good agreement that this storm will move through Amami or Okinawa by this weekend. And you can also see here JMA slowing this down significantly by Saturday or Sunday, and kind of drifts or meanders, as I said, here in the East China Sea. And JTWC also showing that same scenario, although somewhat taking of a southwestward dip much earlier than JTWC. As you can see here, the track differences among these agencies, but just a slight deviation, and JTW is expecting this an earlier breakdown of the steering ridge that is steering the storm right now. But in terms of intensity, JTWC keeping this as a tropical storm and not really intensifying much and into a typhoon. So good news for Okinawa, but certainly just watch out for rains and strong waves, and then winds as well by the weekend comes as the weekend comes in. You have to remember, as it meanders in this area for almost 3-4 days, you have to expect significant amounts of rain, also continuous strong winds, not very strong, not typhoon force, but still significant winds there. Have to keep watching there. And just before we wrap up the video update, I'm going to talk about the other systems that we're watching. We have Invest 94W here, well east of Guam, here in the 154th longitude, so well away from the Philippines, we're away from Okinawa, and well away from Japan. But in terms of circulation, we do have an partially exposed low-level circulation right over here, Also some convective activity trying to form an over and just east of the system. Ascat Pass again, also picking up this closed circulation, but some weaker winds, around 15 to 20 knots on the eastern half, and also just around 10 knots on the western half of the storm. So not particularly strong in terms of winds, but it is developing. We have the wind shear as well in the light to moderate range, but this area right now is somewhat in a low temperature and lower ocean heat content, so we won't likely see this intensify further than a weak cyclone at best. JTWC giving this as a medium chance for developing this the next 24 hours, so we do have to keep watching this. In terms of computer models, I showed you earlier this track, and you can see this computer models also picking up Invest 94W and kind of brings it towards the northwest. Most models do show it dissipating by this weekend, and not reaching anywhere near Japan, except for one model, CMC. We have to keep watching that. The other disturbance that we're watching right now is Invest 95W northeast of Luzon. You can see the Philippines right over here. You can see Taiwan, and you can see this actually a circulation very apparent here in the visible image. Can't really see the low-level circulation, but the inflow as well, the counterclockwise or cyclonic rotation. You can kind of see that here. You have the convective activity, very weak and fragmented again, showing the IR image. You can see here you have two blobs of convection, not really organized just yet, so we'll have to see this storm this disturbance, but computer models not really developing, not really bullish on the development here. Wind shear around 10 to 20 knots, but ocean heat content, as you know, here in the Philippines very high, so we'll see how it interacts. And you kind of have to remember we also have Roke now approaching from the northeast, so computer models, some of them do show this disturbance being absorbed, or at least dissipating by at least in the next 2 to 3 days. So we have to watch that. But in terms of rain, yeah, it could bring rain here in northern Luzon, here in Ilocos, and also Batanes area, and also here in Taiwan. But again, the main thing we're watching right now is Tropical Storm Roke moving in to Okinawa. So please continue watching our updates here in this blog for the latest forecast, and also for your official forecasting agency, especially JMA here in Japan, and also Kadena Weather for the latest T-Core updates there. So that's the update for today. So we'll have again probably make another video update tomorrow. I can't promise you that, but just keep on tuning into Western Pacific, and also meteorologist Robert Spada doing those regular video updates anyway, so keeping you updated there. So until my next update, stay safe out there, especially here in Okinawa. Just tune in, be updated, and be informed, and prepare for the arrival of Tropical Storm Roke. And stay safe out there. Bye bye.